What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're working on the 1996 Toyota Camry again, and we are replacing the front brakes. Pads and rotors, super simple. So let's get started. As always, parts and tools linked in the description. And you guessed it, first things first, make sure you're on a flat level surface and then jack up your car. So to jack it up, I went right here on this nub on the front subframe. That's exactly where you want to jack it up with a floor jack. If you want to lift the whole front end evenly, and jack stands, you can put them anywhere on the subframe, on the pinch rails, or on the frame rails. There and there. If you don't have an electric or pneumatic impact, you actually want to break your lug nuts free before you jack up the car. Otherwise your wheel is just going to spin. Because I'm using an electric impact, I can do that now. 21mm lug nuts. So because I'm going to bleed the brakes after I'm done, and you should do this no matter what, but I'm going to open up the bleeder screw first before I remove anything. That way the caliper is mounted. There should be a boot on here. Mine's missing, but it's an 8mm bleeder screw. Try to break it free. There we go. And fluid's already coming out, so that's good. Close it up. Now with a 14mm socket or wrench, whatever you want to use, get the slider pin bolts off. These are not very tight at all. Before I fully remove them, I'm going to grab the caliper and just press it towards me a little bit. That'll compress the piston just a smidge, just enough to remove pressure off the brake pads and allow me to pull it off. There we go. Inspect your caliper first so that you know if you need to get a new one. If there's fluid here, it's leaking, and then you need a new caliper. This one's rusty, but it looks perfectly fine. If your slider pins are seized, this might be a good opportunity to remove them or try to unseize them while the bracket is still mounted, for two reasons. One, if you can't get them off or you break them, I've had them break before trying to unseize them, you know you need a new caliper bracket, so you might as well not go through the trouble of removing, cleaning and everything and then have to buy a new one. You might as well do it now, and also it's easier to unseize them here if you don't have a vise. Next, get yourself a 17mm. We'll undo the two caliper bracket mounting bolts. Now these are pretty tight, so I'm going to use a 1/2 inch instead of a 3/8. And if you can't get to them, you can turn the wheel towards you. Okay, once they're broken free, you should be able to remove them more easily. I like to leave this in there just a little bit, that way it doesn't fall off when I remove this one. Alright, perfect. Take these both off and remove the bracket with the pads if they haven't fallen out by now. Now that the bracket's off, you can remove the pads. You can remove the pads beforehand too, but mine didn't. Usually they fall off, mine didn't, so that's nice. This one's missing, literally missing chunks of pad material there, and it's thinner than this one. Not by much, so that's normal, but it's also separating from the backing right here. Quality. Next, you would want to remove the rotor, but just like this one, sometimes it's seized, in which case you can do two things. Get a hammer and whack it, have some fun, or you can get two 8x125 bolts, start them in here, and that's going to push the rotor off the hub. I'm going to do the hammer method because it's more fun. Make sure you wear safety glasses when you do this, because rust chunks can fly back at your face. I'm going to put a lug nut on in this case, and I'll give it some bigger whacks. I tied my caliper up here so it's not hanging by the brake hose, and it's also not in the way of me hammering. Should have probably done this first. There we go. Next, what you want to do is get a wire brush or anything that you have to clean this hub off. It's important that you get it as clean as possible. Remove all the rust, remove all the chunks that are on it, and get it looking as clean as you can for reinstallation. This one didn't actually have a lot of chunks, but it was pretty rusty, so I wire brushed it as well as I could. And now I'm gonna clean it up with some brake clean. Once that's all cleaned up, you want to apply some anti-seize to it. That's going to prevent rust, and that will make it so that the rotor comes off easier next time. Next, you want to grab your new rotor, install it backwards so you can clean it. It comes coated from the factory with cosmoline oil, and you want to clean that off. They do that to prevent rust, but obviously you don't want any oil on your braking surface. All right, now turn it this way and install it for real, and also clean this side. You can install a lug nut if you want, so the rotor doesn't fall off. What you want to do next is clean your caliper bracket. Take note of how the hardware sits on it. So the one with 2 springs sits on the top. It was mounted this way, so the one with 2 springs sits on the top. Take those off. Usually you don't want to reuse these, you throw them away. I guess if you had to, you can clean them up. They're stainless steel, they shouldn't be rusty, but it's always good to get new ones. And now you take your wire brush, and as you can see, mine aren't too bad in the areas where the hardware sits. If you have rust flakes and chunks and pitting, you want to take a more aggressive method and grind it down with something, or use sandpaper. I'm just going to use a wire brush, and that should take care of my rust here. It's just surface rust for the most part. Okay, next you want to take your slider pins out, and you want to make sure that you put them back in the correct hole, because one has this cutout where it's supposed to have a rubber bushing. It doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. That one, remember, goes on the top, and this one, oh, I guess this one also has a rubber bushing, so they both have a rubber bushing. Well, this one actually has it. That one is supposed to. Anyway, in this case, it doesn't matter where you put them because they're both supposed to have one. A lot of times only one of them has, and in that case you want to pay attention. Okay, clean these off. And in my case, these are not rusty, pitted, rotted, flaking, whatever. They're actually very clean, so I'm good to reuse them. If yours are in poor condition, you need to get new ones because they won't function properly otherwise. Make sure you clean out these little grooves here up where the boot sits. That's what makes it seal and protects it from water and debris. So you want to make sure that that groove is clean, because if it's not, stuff gets in there and causes issues. Okay, now that the slider pins are clean, technically you'd want to take these boots off. However, these are the types of boots that get pressed in the caliper bracket with a metal sleeve, and if you take it off, you bend the metal sleeve, you need a new boot. You want to inspect them, make sure they don't have any holes or tears. Mine are okay, so I'm not going to take them out, which means I can't clean the inside of the bracket, because if I put a bore brush in, it's going to rip the boot. So I'm just going to put some brake clean in there, shake it up, dump it, and call it done. If you have new boots, or you want to get new boots, obviously take them off, clean inside there with a bore brush or whatever else you have. Just don't shove a napkin in there or a tissue, whatever, because it's going to get stuck. Then proceed with greasing it up. And for grease, I'm going to use some silicone paste that is resistant to high temperatures. And what I'm going to do is actually put a little glob of grease in here, and oops, not there, and in here. And once I have grease in there, I'll put it on the outside of the sliders. And the reason I do this is because when I put the slider in, if it has a ton of grease on it, it's just gonna come right off on the outside of the boot. So I want it to put it inside the boot where it can stay. So grease up your sliders. This is important so they can slide. And because I put grease in there already, there's already grease inside the lip of the boot. Otherwise I would put some up here. So put that in and slide it all the way down. Make sure it releases all the air, and do the same to this one. Okay, next I'm going to use this excess grease that came out and put it right here where the hardware sits. You don't want a lot here, That's why I'm just using a little bit. You just want to coat the area so it can prevent rust. Okay, see, that's too much because it's going on the inside of the caliper bracket. You don't want it to go in there. That's where the rotor goes, and you don't want it to get on the rotor. That's done. Now get your hardware. These we will use later. These are wear indicators. We're gonna have to put those on the pads before installing the pads. So now you want to take 2 of the single spring ones and 2 of the double springs. Hopefully I picked the correct side, because you never know. And I remember saying that the double spring one goes on the top, and this is the top right here. It gets mounted this way. So I'm going to take one of these, and the springs are always facing outward, otherwise it will make contact with the rotor, and that's not good. So it'll sit like that. Perfect. Other side, and the single spring ones. Okay, caliper bracket is done. Next you want to mount the caliper bracket. You can use thread locker on these bolts if you want. Definitely don't use anti-seize or grease or anything like that. You don't want these coming loose. The torque on these 2 caliper bracket bolts is 79 foot-pounds. It's time to push the caliper piston back in, so I'm going to untie my caliper from up here, bring it down. I'm going to open up my bleeder, and I'm going to use an old pad with a caliper depression tool. This is a dual piston caliper, so I'm going to have to go back and forth between these two to press it back evenly. If your bleeder is stuck, you don't have to open it. Just go very slow and be careful pressing it back. And if the caliper goes back with difficulty, that means it's seized. It should go back very smoothly with minimal force. If you don't have a special tool, you can also use some big pliers of some sort. Just make sure you press on both pistons at once, because otherwise you push one in and the other one comes out. Okay, that's pressed in all the way. Don't put a lot of force on it when you get to the end. You'll know when you get to the end. Alright, at this point I'm going to make sure that no air comes out of the line, and it looks to be fine. So I'm going to close up my bleeder. And if you have a boot that goes on it, obviously put that back on. And you want to make sure you clean this down. Okay, next you want to put your pads in. I'm going to start with the outer, and then we'll add the wear indicator to the inner. So just slide it in, press it into the springs. Because that top spring is pushing it down at the same time, you'll have to push it upwards or install the bottom first. There we go. And make sure your, oops, yeah, it wants to pop out. Make sure your pad slides easily and it's not stuck. If it's stuck, that means you have too much rust between the hardware and the bracket. And to install the wear indicator, I like to put it on the inner pad because that's where the piston applies pressure first. And in this case, I'm going to put it on the bottom part of the pad. The rotor turns this way as you drive, so if I mount it this way, it will actually pull the indicator away as opposed to pressing it into the pad. So to install it, there are 2 little notches here. You want to just press it into them. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like. There are only 2 in the package because there's 1 for each side. And same with this. Slide this on. Next you want to install these little springs here, and once you put these on, you want to hold the pads because they're going to want to spread apart. That's what they're for, is to make the pads slide out. They're here to prevent the pads from sticking onto the rotor after you release the brakes. Open the caliper right over. Install your 2 caliper mounting bolts. Now these get torqued to 25 foot-pounds, but 25 foot-pounds is not a lot, so I'm just going to tighten them up with the ratchet. Give them a couple bonks. Alright, that's it. Now you can take this off. Once you're done with this side and you've done the other side, go ahead and put the wheel back on. Alright, and to torque the wheels, I like to have the car on the ground with a little bit of weight on the wheels. The torque for these is 76 foot-pounds. I have bigger wheels and tires, so I'm actually going to go to 85. But factory torque is 76. Okay, let it down. And of course, don't forget to check your master cylinder and make sure that that's full with fresh fluid. Now, one last thing with new brakes, what you want to do is heat them up a little bit so they can basically break in the pad material and the rotor surface and blend together perfectly. So you want to drive 20-30 miles an hour, slow down 40, slow down 50, slow down, and so on a few times. You don't want to overheat them, but you want to get them a little hot at the beginning so they can clean up their first layer and have a perfect surface to grip onto. And having said that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any comments, leave them down in the comment section below. Again, parts and tools are linked in the description, so check that out, and I will see you in the next one.